Hello, my friends. Boomy here once again with another video for you, my soapboxy brothers and sisters. My patriot brother and sisters. I'm still working on the opening tagline, okay? It'll take me a couple videos. I like that. Yes, my patriotic brother and sisters. There you go. I like it. Why are we doing this video today? As you can see in the title, it says hashtag walk away. And yes, I am part of the Walkaway movement. Now, I did walk away a few years before this happened, but I'm going to talk to you and tell you about how and why I walked away and why I believe and think the way I do today, which kind of goes into, another reason why I created this channel. But if you're not familiar with the Walkaway movement, it was started by Brandon Straka, who was a liberal, in all intents and purposes, but felt like the Democrat Party had left him behind, and he walked away from it and left it, and has joined really, people who support the current President Donald Trump. But I went ahead and I watched a lot of his video, which I will link in the section, in the information below. It's a very powerful video. I challenge everyone to watch it. I really do. But I've been watching a lot of the Walkaway videos, and something I've really been getting from them is love and compassion, especially in the comment section. I did not really see any hate whatsoever. And I think that goes to show a giant imbalance in our political world these days, especially these days after the 2016 election, where if you don't tote the political line, especially of those on the far left, then you are practically dead to them, as has happened to me before. This happened to me with a friend, and because I voted a certain way, she literally stopped all contact and went on a tantrum. Let me tell you guys right here before I continue, we might not agree on everything, and that's okay. That's totally fine. And guess what? I'll still be your friend. That's what adults do. But let's continue. My history. Why I walked away. It was a long time ago. No, well, it was actually. I think I was like 20, 21 years old. And at that age, 19, 18, 19, in 18, 19, you think you know everything, right? You think you're immortal. You know everything. All this jazz, all this stuff. Ha ha, the world sucks, and I will fix it with my brain power. That's where you are at that age. Now, I grew up in a pretty conservative religious household, and they pretty much still are to this day. Party on, so am I. But we never really talked politics, and I've always had a hunger for history and hunger for this, but I didn't really know where to focus it. Now, I was very left-leaning in a lot of areas, especially socially, and if Bernie Sanders had run years ago, I probably would have most definitely voted for him. I wouldn't say I was as radical as Antifa, but I was definitely near the social justice warrior closet on that one. So I've always been a logical person, and I've never been like the Mr. Jump to anger immediately, but I did believe that, conservatives for the most part, Republicans for the most part, were twit sticks, and the big business people hate you. They do, and if you actually do some research, you'll find that most of the big CEOs, big companies, are left-leaning, but that's here nor there. So I did not like these people, right? And I would listen to the news, and I would talk to my friends, the little echo chamber we kind of put ourselves in sometimes, both left and right. And as one would do, my worldview was jaded. Heck, I grew up in Southern California. That should tell you everything right there. Too much sun. Way too much sun. But it wasn't until I was working at a gas station, and this 80-year-old black man comes in. It turns out that he and I would be really good friends for the 3 years that I worked at that station before I escaped the People's Republic of California. And we would talk. Now, he's 80 years old. He grew up during some of the most, definitely not slavery, but during the civil rights era. He grew up during that time. So he and I would talk a lot, and politics would be brought up, and not necessarily politics per se, but things would be brought up. And one day, he's all, I challenge you to do something. I'm like, okay, what do you want me to do? Because I would be like, man, we need to do this. The government needs to give out more money. We need to throw money at this to fix this thing. Social programs are crap. We need to just fix that and just put more there. These cities are poor because these stupid Republicans who are doing these stupid things, and I can't stand who's president. I can't stand this, that, or the other thing. And he's like, well, I challenge you on something. I'm like, okay. What are you going to challenge me on? And he's all, I want you to go research what you're talking about. I want you to go to the inner cities and talk to people. I want you to look up who's been running these cities, who's in charge, who the leadership is, and see if what they have been doing has helped at all. Look at the history. Keep going back, follow the trail. So at first I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. But then I was listening, and this was like my first time ever listening to Rush Limbaugh. He's a conservative radio host, and he says something very similar. He said, "Don't believe what I say. Look for it yourself. Look it up yourself. Do the search yourself." And so I'm like, okay, fine, I'll go do it. And you know what? I did. I researched the inner cities of Southern California. I researched Southern California in general. And one thing that I walked away from was that, like, the glasses were peeled off. It took a little bit for me to get to. Now, we didn't have full access to Google, so you actually had to go research these things. But my eyes started opening to what I was seeing as hypocrisies from what I was seeing on the left about how they would promise to fix this, but this program and this program offer you more money on welfare and this and the other thing. And what I noticed that cities that have been run by Democrats for a decade, 2 decades, 3 decades, 4 decades, where the leadership has pretty much been the same, the cities never changed. They never did. In fact, they got worse. And so I started begging the question, well, why hasn't it changed? Why aren't they fully committed to the promises that they had when they campaigned? And why are the people still voting for them? That is still my biggest question today. So as I continued researching that, I started researching the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, Declaration of Independence, the letters of our founding fathers. I went through a whole deep dive into 18th century colonial life. I went and started reading the books that our founding fathers had inspiration from. Cicero, Locke, deep Greek philosophers. And the more I did, the deeper I got into it, the more I started pulling out and realizing that the left has lied. They have lied hardcore and big time. Because even back then, they want you to think that you were a victim of something. And that's all I heard. It's like, oh man, if these people just get out of my way, then I could do X, Y, and Z. It's not true. And the more research I did, the more of our founding fathers' principles I did, the more biblical studies I got into, the more I just realized, like, hey, guys, you're wrong. They're lying to you. You are really the only impediment of getting to where you want to go. You're not a victim. You're not a victim of this, unless sometimes you allow. Now, yes, there are some circumstances where you become a victim of circumstance, and that does happen, and yeah, that's wrong. But the left likes to play this victim card mentality where they wake up every day thinking, well, I must be a victim of something, and that's where they want these people in these inner cities to be, pretty much in a form of slavery, and brainwash them, saying you can't trust the Republicans, you can't trust the Libertarians, you can't trust the Conservatives, you can only trust us to get what you want, which is a bunch of BS. It's totally BS, because if you start doing your research, you'll find that the party with the biggest sin and blood on their hands is the Democrat Party. Do your research. Go find out. Look it up with civil rights. Look it up with slavery. Look it up with the internment camps of the Japanese during World War II. Follow the rabbit trail. And if I can... One thing I did say to Grant when I came back from all this, and I was growing during this time, and he would just say, keep research, keep looking into it. And one thing I would like to say to him, sadly he has passed away, but be like, thank you. big thank you, because he pushed me in the direction I needed to go, but my eyes were opened. And it was then I walked away. I realized the Democrat Party, the big leftists that I had been hanging around with, were either brainwashed by what their professors were telling them, or brainwashed by what the news is telling them, or this is just what their family did. Everyone voted Democrat. And I walked away from it. I walked away. And since I have walked away, life has been, I am not in that circle of anger. I'm not in that looking, for someone to blame someone on something, on this thing. In fact, I have found nothing but love and companionship and tolerance is not the word I'm looking for, but you know what I'm talking about, from the people, from the conservatives, from the Republicans, from the libertarians, from people on the right, the moderates as well, where they're very welcoming. We're very welcoming. And I realized that a lot of the intolerance was happening from the Democrat Party, happening from those on the left. Now, I will say the Democrat Party has drastically changed since then. And it was murmuring back then, but it has drastically changed to where if you, like some of my Walkaway brothers and sisters out there, even though I walked away a long time ago, but whatever, if you walk away and you're vocal about it, you are shunned, you're giving crap, you're being, death threats and all that stuff, which is dumb. So then I asked the question, which side is right then? Is this the Democrats? Are these the party of tolerance? Is this the party of inclusion? No, it's not. They haven't, Antifa, anti-fascist, which is hilarious since it's ironic, since they use fascist means to get, whatever. But they have not been denounced by the Democrats. The Democrats themselves, Maxine Waters, has gone out and pretty much told her people should give trouble to Trump supporters no matter where they are. They have these restaurants kicking Trump supporters and Republicans and conservatives out of their restaurants. That is their prerogative to do. But that didn't happen back in the day. The extreme far left has taken over, and I'm not shocked or surprised as to why so many are walking away right now. I have no issue with you being gay. I have no issue with you being whatever you think you are. Party on. We all can find a common ground. And a lot of it is based off love for country, and we have a certain set of principles that the Democrat Party has left behind. And I would challenge you, and I have challenged people before on this, and most of the time I get a big F you to that one because they have no other argument, because they just don't. But I challenge you, my friends, to do if you were like I was back in the day, where you were kind of teeter-tottering, you weren't sure you lost, but you were pretty sure you're convinced what you knew. Go look it up yourself. Follow the breadcrumbs. Don't believe what the media tells you. Research it yourself. A lot of times you will find that they doctor everything. And I'm even talking about Fox as well. Don't believe everything you hear. Research it yourself and look it up yourself. We have a magic thing called the internet. It makes things a lot faster than when I did it like 20 years ago. Ugh. But go ahead and do it. Like I said, hey, if this inspires you to do something, party on and do it. But watch Brandon's video in the information below. He says it far more artistically than I do. But that was just my story. Being challenged to go research, go study, and it wound it up to where I am a full flaming conservative, patriotic, bleeding red, white, and blue out of my nose all day long. And to the point where I'm like sick and tired of watching a party that I once loved, a party that was actually pretty awesome when JFK was president, completely be destroyed and dismantled. It has been. It's a dead party. It's destroyed. Just look who's running for president right now. There is no actual platform of these people who want to take your rights away. And we can talk about that in another video if you want to, but why I would never align myself with a party that wishes to take my rights away, rights given to me by the Constitution, by this country, and by God, and people who think that they know better for me, that I should just shut up and give in to their demands. Well, I can tell you now, that ain't gonna happen. But yeah, go do the research, and if you don't walk away, party on. We can still be friends, but I'm just giving you my story. where I was and how accepted I was after that. Grant had a big old smile on his face. Now, I will tell you, he was a Democrat for years, but he walked away after the civil rights incidents in the movements, when the Democrats voted pretty much unanimously against it. He walked away. You know, I guess one could argue he was like the first walkawayers. I don't know. But anyways, God bless him. Rest in peace, Grant, my friend. My friends, put your comments in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts on all this. We can agree to disagree if not, but I do challenge you to not only do your research, but also watch Brandon's video and the information below. My friends, remember to be kind. It's about community, and let's all find a common ground and take our country back. Because if they take it to places they want to, I fear, my friends, well, we can talk about that in another video. My friends, we'll see you later. Have a great night. I love you. Good day.